Okay, for this project, we're going to go to New File, and we're going to create a document that is 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. Make sure you check your units, and go ahead and click Create. All right, so I have this nice square surface. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my rectangle tool, and I'm going to create a rectangle the size of my artboard. I can look at my transform property over here and make sure that it is in fact 1080 by 1080. It is. I can double check the alignment and make sure that it's centered so it isn't just, off by a little bit. I'm going to get rid of the stroke, and I'm going to change my fill so that it's a blue. Now the specific shade of blue is up to you. I'm going to go with this sort of royal blue. And then I'm going to go to my layers panel over here, and for now I'm going to lock this rectangle so I don't accidentally move it. There is no paint bucket tool in Adobe Illustrator, and so this is sort of how we fill in a large space. Now what I'm going to do is take my pen tool right here, and I'm going to actually turn off the fill, and I'm going to turn on my stroke. And I'm going to make this just a contrasting color. I'm going to go with sort of an orange, orangey gold sort of color right in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click up at the top. I'm going to come down at a slight angle. I'm going to hold the shift key and come to the right just a little bit. I'm going to come back over again to the left, trying to match that angle. Come over again just a little bit, and then I'm going to finish this like so, sort of creating a lightning bolt like pattern. All right, so now I'm going to increase my stroke to 100 pixels, or 100 points. PT is points. All right, now notice if I don't like how this looks, I can always use my direct selection tool, and I can select any of those anchor points and I can adjust them. So I just want to balance this out a little bit like so. Now what you'll notice is that the way that Adobe Illustrator handles those strokes is that I got this little sliver of blue right here creeping in. So I'm going to use my direct selection tool. That's this one right here, keyboard shortcut A. I'm going to pull this straight up. Notice I can use my smart guides in order to maintain that same angle. All right, so I'll illustrate that again right here. Click, and that pink line means that I'm maintaining the same line, and boom, got it right there. All right, so for this next step, what I'm going to do is position this here, and I'm going to copy and paste this. Command C, Command V. So now I've got a second one right here, and I'm going to position this sort of down and to the left just a little bit, and I'm going to change the stroke color so that it is a lighter shade of yellow. All right, so I'm going to move from gold to sort of yellow right in here. And I'm going to repeat that process. Copy, paste. I could also Command Option click drag. I'm going to make this an even brighter shade of yellow right into here, sort of the sunshine yellow right here. And then I actually want to create a fourth one, only this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to come this way, and I'm going to make this even a darker shade, almost red, but just sort of like a rich orange right in here. However, because of the order that I want to right click, and I want to arrange, and I want to send this to the back, but that puts it behind the rectangle. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to arrange, bring forward, so I would go one step above. All right, so now at this point, what I'm going to do is select all of my lightning bolts, and I'm going to distribute them horizontally, and oops, let me undo that. Let me make sure that I distribute them horizontally relative to the selection, not the artboard. Important distinction. So distribute them horizontally right in here, and I'm going to distribute them vertically like so. So now I have an equidistant arrangement of all of my elements right here. And the last thing to do is to look at this and say, hey, does this look good? Does it look the way that I want it to? And I think it's a little bit low. So I'm going to select all of these, right click and group, or I can press Command G, and I'm going to center this on the artboard vertically like so. I want this to be a little bit to the side. I don't want it to be centered horizontally, and so I actually like it that way. Now the next thing to do is to trim this. So for this step, I'm going to have to go back to my layers panel and unlock my rectangle right here. And then the next step is going to be to convert these from paths to shapes. Now there's a cool trick where I can go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke, and that's going to turn each stroke, which you can visualize by pressing Command Y. Right? Notice that the stroke does not have a path around it. The stroke is around the path. All right, but if I go to Option and I go to Path, Outline, Stroke, then notice how each of these strokes has now become its own shape. And so if I wanted to, I could grab this and I could adjust it. And I don't want to do that, but this step will allow me to select everything and then use my shape builder tool, pressing Option, to delete the top and the bottom like so. All right, now I have created my own thick lines inspired lightning bolt design. I could, if I wanted to, position that again like so just to make it perfect. All right, that is your task.